Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. This morning, we're really focusing on small businesses and those people. Almost all of us have been affected by COVID-19. As we're in phase 3, we're trying to figure out how we get our business up and going again. And there's no better person to walk us through some of the benefits that have been made available to small businesses than Dr. Julie Cruz. Dr. Cruz is a business compliance regulator. She also helps with scholarship assistance programs, and she's a grant writer, and that's just a few of the things that she does. And one of the things that we're talking about this morning is the Main Street Recovery Program grant. Julie, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
So I know personally how amazing Julie is because she has really helped our business in understanding and filling out the forms, making sure that we are in compliance. Now, the Main Street Recovery Program grant is something that a lot of people have not really heard about. First of all, tell us what it is.
Okay, so the Main Street Recovery Grant is a grant that has been awarded to Louisiana and given to small businesses, and anyone that is registered for the Secretary of State and has paid taxes in 2018 may apply.
Okay.
And the grants cover from anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. And there's two different sections that they may apply on. Number one would be quick relief, which has now been increased up to $15,000, or the itemized, which is also up to $15,000.
Okay, so you can get anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000.
Yes.
Now, when we talk about grants, these are not loans, so they don't have to be repaid.
Right. They do not have to be repaid. You do not have to keep any kind of receipts. You do not have to show them what you did with the money. The money will actually be mailed to your business address, whatever business address you put on there. If you have a home office and that's what you list as your business address, or if you have an actual physical business address, maybe on a highway or in town, and that is the one that you list, that's the mailing address that it's going to go to. It will come in paper form, not directly deposited into your checking account like some of the PPP loans. Okay, that will not be the case. It will be a paper check.
Okay, so as I understand it, $275 million had been advocated for this grant.
Yes.
But only about $35 million has been used or received by small businesses. What are we finding has been the problem?
Okay, so that is correct. So actually the beginning was July the 28th.
This is when it started.
This is when it started. And we did have $275 million. Now, at the very beginning, it was supposed to be originally for people who didn't get their turn at their original money for the PPPs and the SBAs. And so when those money ran out, the little guys didn't really get their money. Well, these guys on July the 28th were supposed to apply and get their turn. Well, a lot of the guys on the original application, which has now been changed to an easier format, and I'll explain that in just a moment, many of these guys applied, and some people were actually denied. It does not mean that you cannot reapply, guys. It does not mean that. So you can reapply. It just means that perhaps you filled out something incorrectly. So right now, about 3,800 people have been approved and the checks have been mailed out. So about $40 million or $35 million have been distributed.
Okay.
And we have $240 million to go. So we need you to apply, and we want you to apply because it is indeed a real grant with real funds for real people that are hard workers just like you.
And so there's not a trick to it. you don't have to write for the grant. You just have to go to their website and you have to fill out the forms correctly. And that's where you come into play, where you're helping a lot of businesses to make sure that they don't get kicked out and that they do it right the first time so it can expedite their monies.
Yes, that's right. They did make an allotment in there for a professional to assist, such as an attorney, a CPA, or a grant writer. And that money is allotted in there as an expense.
Okay.
And so that would be paid for inside the grant funds.
Okay. And so for those small businesses that are mom and pop, just talk about what documents they need. So when you come in to help people, what do they need to have to make it seamless for you?
Okay, so you can pick number one, which is quick relief.
Okay.
And you would need if you're going to go that route, which has now been extended up to 15,000, you would need your driver's license. And if there's more than one person on the form, like for example, if two people own the business, maybe a husband and a wife or partners, you would need both of those driver's licenses. You would need the taxes for 2018. Also, if you have not filed your 2019 taxes, it is okay. They're going to accept the extension for that.
Okay. Okay.
That's new. All right. So there's some new things that they didn't have in place on July 28th that are going to help you guys out. And it's going to make it quicker and it's going to make it easier. But the one thing that we cannot expect is it to be a magic potion pill. It's going to take about 28 to 35 days in a turnaround, no matter what you do.
Okay.
If it's going to be earlier than that, that's just a blessing in disguise. So I would say that if you applied today, it would be something where you could expect to go shopping for Christmas presents and expect it in the mail for shopping for Christmas.
Okay.
So you don't look for it before 30 days.
Okay. So it's going to take at least 30 days. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break here and we're going to come back with the website. We're going to come back with more information about how you can connect with getting the $15,000. And again, we're going to keep talking about what each business needs so that you'll know whether you qualify or not. Our guest this morning is Dr. Julie Cruz. She is a consulting agent. She's got a firm and she is working to make sure that we get the help that we need. Stay on point. We're back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. Our guest this morning is Dr. Julie Cruz. Her business is called Choose Cruz Consulting Firm, and she just really understands how to go through these documents quickly, help business owners to get the monies that they need and deserve. Right now we're talking about the Main Street Recovery Program grant. Now, as I understand it, there's $40 million that is set aside for minority and women-owned businesses.
Yes, it is included in the money
in the 275.
But it definitely was and is for minority and woman-owned businesses.
Okay, so the thing that people need to understand about this is that if any of the information is missing, then it may throw you out of the system.
It may, but I want everyone to understand when you set up your account, you have to actually sign in, like make a username and a password. And whenever you finish doing your grant, and it lets you go through all 11 steps, so there are 11 steps, and if you've made it to the end...
Is that the short form, 11 steps?
That's the whole form.
That's the whole form, okay.
But when you get to option 2 and you select itemized, there's just more to put in.
Okay.
A lot more to put in.
So is it prudent to itemize?
It is if you're a person that would like to get more.
But you're only going to get 15,000.
You're only going to get 15.
Right.
And so now they've changed the rules to where it's 15,000 is in the quick relief.
Okay.
So I personally pick quick relief.
Right.
because they were going to give me what they were going to give me anyway. And there's not a they're going to choose that for me. I don't get to choose it.
Okay.
They're going to look at my paperwork and they're going to choose it.
All right.
And it's just a shorter process.
Okay.
A quicker process. Okay.
All right, so before we go any further, I want to talk to those mom and pop businesses that may not have all of the paperwork, but they're doing business. Okay. Are they eligible?
Yes. Now, for those mom and pop businesses,
and I'm talking about people that may be working out of their car or out of their home, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not what we would call maybe a traditional business.
Okay. So let's just say that you are, I don't know, a concrete finisher.
Okay.
Okay? Concrete finisher. And you have a business and you do have a license and insurance or whatever, occupational license. You are maybe a sole proprietor or a partnership with your brother, and you need to file a different way. There are click buttons for you to choose, and you will have different documentation to provide besides the person next to you that is an LLC or an S Corp.
Okay.
So it is not going to be the same for every single person. And if you are in another parish, you might have had to provide something from, your clerk of court office for showing your occupation license than someone else's. It just depends on what you're clicking, because there are buttons that show, your LLC, your S Corp, your partnership, and then it's going to drop down. There's little information is different in each drop down. So you're not going to have exactly the same thing as your buddy.
Okay, so might be different for everybody.
It might be different for everybody. Now, I do want to make sure that before we leave this information here, after you have finished and you do get a confirmation number, it's going to be an MSRP number, guys. Write it down. Write it down. Then at the bottom of your screen, there's going to be like a 1888 number that they give you. You can call that number and ask about your status of your number. You can also check in on your portal, and that's where the reviewer will tell you what you forgot or what you need to add. Or they'll say, do you accept this amount in the check? If you're getting a check, they're going to say, do you accept $6,750 as your grant amount? If you do not accept within 3 days, it goes back.
Oh, wow.
So you need to be watching your portal. It can't just stay there forever and you just expect the check to arrive.
So you have to actually approve or accept the amount. Okay, say there's somebody that gets $5,000 or $5,500, and they say, well, I think I deserve, more. Okay, how does that work?
There's an appeal.
Okay, so you have to appeal.
You have to appeal it.
All right, so what's the website, first of all, that people need to go to first, and the first thing is you have to follow the instructions to the letter.
You have to follow the instructions to the letter. And sometimes people do not realize that they're not following the instructions, but when it asks you something...
That's me. Sometimes I don't realize I'm not following the instructions.
Look, I'm telling people, and when I was helping some wonderful, hard-working, some of the hardest-working citizens you'll ever meet, that says, are you registered with the Secretary of State? Yes, I am. Are you active? Yes, I am. Are you in good standing? Absolutely. I look it up on the Secretary of State website, and it says in big red letters, not in good standing. And I'll call them up and I'll say, you're not in good standing. And they're like, what? What do you mean? And I said, you need to go pay your $35 right now to be in good standing. Otherwise, this is not going to work. So one of the reasons that you will get denied right away is if you're not in good standing. Go pay your $35 to be in good standing. It won't work if you're not in good standing.
Wow. And so what's the website that people need to go to start the process?
The easiest way is to just Google Louisiana Main Street Recovery Grant.
Okay.
And it just pops up right there.
One of the things that you talked about is following the Secretary of Treasury's website or his Facebook page.
Yes, please join. If you have a business, join the Facebook page, the Louisiana Department of Treasury's Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
There you will see other people who are having questions, who are having telling success stories, people, real success stories that people did get their check and that their check was mailed. And you will see people that said, it took me 38 days, but my check just arrived. So it's true, it's happening, but you have to be patient. And the first thing you have to do is apply. Because if you don't apply, it will never come.
Absolutely. And so, Julie, how can people connect with you to really consult them and help them through the process?
So my cell phone number is 318-308-0766. And you can text message me. I will get back to you. And I do have an email address that is choosecruisenow@gmail.com. And I will need your driver's license, your business legal name, and your 2018 taxes first thing.
That's the first thing you're going to need to start.
First thing I need to start.
Well, what we're going to do, Julie, is we're going to have more conversations because a lot of people really had not even heard. I know until you told me, I hadn't even heard about the grant. And I know a lot of businesses feel the same way, but really need the money. So we're going to have John Schroeder to talk about the whole process and help people through it. And we're going to continue to have these conversations until every small business and every minority-owned business gets this money that is available. And it is going to be a help, I believe, to all of us. So, Julie, thank you for all of the people that you're helping. Thank you for helping us. And we look forward to watching the progression and hearing about the nuances and any changes.
Well, please follow the Facebook page. They actually let you call in and listen to their meetings every week. So if you want to know the changes that are being made, because they're trying to give the money away as quickly as possible, dial in.
All right.
Good luck, guys.
There you go. Dr. Julie Cruz has been our guest this morning. Stay on point. We're back after this.